All right, hey folks, good Wednesday evening to you. We, of course, are tracking our next storm system. It looks to be another one of those 2-day storms around here. We'll start with snow, and that will be tomorrow morning. Some areas will see a little bit of sleet, freezing rain, and then freezing rain's probably the dominant type of precip for our Friday. And some mountain areas get some hefty amounts of snowfall accumulation. It still looks like northern parts of Maine will get the most snow out of this one. There'll be some spots over a foot. But even in the mountains, you are going to get some freezing rain going into tomorrow night and into the day on Friday as well. I was just talking to my kids at home, and they've got their clothes on backwards, spoon under the pillow. They're really doing the rally for no school tomorrow. What else did they say? They put an ice cube in the toilet. It's all sorts of interesting things that they're trying to do to ask the gods to give them the day off from school. So we'll have to see if any of that works. I've never heard of the ice cube in the toilet trick. I have seen the wear your clothes backwards trick. So I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see what the schools do tomorrow because we have some snowfall moving in the morning. And, we're not going to get a lot of snow on Thursday, but the timing is going to be not great because it comes in between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. That's going to be the time frame for first flakes around here. And in the morning commute looks to be the worst. The afternoon commute, the precip will probably lighten up a little bit. So I do think that we will see some improvement later in the day. And then round number 2 arrives on Friday. And the main concern there is for freezing rain. A lot of folks checking in on Facebook Live. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live this evening. I hear an ice cube under your pillow. Kelly says, I hear an ice cube under your pillow today. Laugh out loud. No, it's the ice cube that goes in the toilet, I guess. And I might have messed that up. Ice cube goes in the toilet, and then the spoon goes under the pillow, and you wear your clothes backwards. These are all the things the kids tell me that they do to get the day off from school. So they're asking the gods to get the day off from school here. I don't know. Hey, we should just focus in on the weather forecast, right? Don't listen to me about that. If you have school tomorrow, do your homework. That's the bottom line here. All right, I've wasted enough of your time on that. Hey, let's take a look at what we can expect for our forecast headlines here. Snow arrives Thursday morning, and the time frame is going to be 4 o'clock to 6 a.m. for first flakes. And that is why I think some areas may call some school off tomorrow, just simply because we're looking at the morning commute. The morning commute will probably have our heaviest snow, and we're probably looking at 2 inches of snow on the ground just by 9 o'clock or so. 2 inches of snow on the ground already. So roads will be snow covered for the morning commute. That's how I think it's going to go down. Then a change to sleet. Ooh, that's not what I want to do. A change to sleet will be common for a lot of areas during the afternoon. And then freezing rain will probably be the dominant type of precip going into your Friday. And the snow piles up in the mountains late Friday night. Even in the mountains, though, you are going to get some freezing rain. And I still have some questions. How much snow are you going to get up there? Just simply because some of the freezing rain is going to hold those totals down. So let's jump into it here. There's a lot to talk about. Winter weather advisories, areas in purple. That goes into effect at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Long duration goes all the way to Friday, 10 p.m. Winter storm warnings, areas in the pink. And that starts 7 a.m. tomorrow and goes all the way to 10 p.m. on Friday. So 2-day event. It's another 2-day storm system. We've had a few of these this season. Hey, this is kind of cool. Check out all these watches, I should say advisories and warnings. They go all the way down to Texas and Oklahoma and all the way up into here into New England. There's actually severe weather occurring down to our south here. Here in Maine, we're just looking at increasing clouds tonight. There are tornado warnings occurring down into Alabama, into Mississippi down here. There's all the snow off to our west, snowfall up into the Midwest. And this is all heading into our direction. In fact, New England and Florida seem to be the only ones spared on the eastern half of the United States from any weather happening right now, any interesting weather at least. So let's take a look at our storm tracker. No real changes with a lot of the timing of this. This is snow moving in tomorrow morning. It's snowing for a good chunk of the day tomorrow. I think southern areas will change over to some sleet. And York County, Seacoast, New Hampshire, coastal York County, coastal Cumberland County, you are a candidate for a little bit of rain tomorrow, probably not much, but you might see a quick change over there. So this is the front end of the storm. There's a lot of times we can go from nothing to something very quickly in this sort of setup here. So you have a warm front approaching from the south, and I can remember many situations where we have a quick burst of snow on the front end of storms like this. So don't be surprised if 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, it's coming down at a pretty good clip. It's going to lighten up in the afternoon. Yeah, this is about 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday now. Now, the track of low pressure will probably come close enough that, of course, we're going to keep enough precipitation in the forecast right through Friday to cause some trouble. It's also going to allow for some warmer air to move in at several thousand feet in elevation. But at the ground level, notice what's happening. You have those arrows, they're coming right out of the northeast here. So that's going to keep some colder air entrenched at the ground level. So right in the first few hundred feet of the ground, you're going to have temps around freezing or slightly below freezing. While a few thousand feet up, the temps will be above freezing. So what happens is you get the snowflakes, they melt, become raindrops, they refreeze, and become either ice pellets, sleet, or freezing rain. And if that cold area is cold layer, I should say, is shallow enough, which I think it will be, we'll be talking about some freezing rain. So I think the main concern on your Friday is for freezing rain. Notice some snow occurring northern Maine, northern parts of New Hampshire, but even in the mountains, yeah, you're going to see a little bit of freezing rain going into the day on Friday. A lot of those areas will get a little bit of snow in the back end of it, Friday afternoon, Friday night. I don't think we're going to see a lot of additional accumulation over southern and central Maine. It's tough to rely on that backside snow for much additional accumulation. You might get an inch or two in spots, but outside of the mountains, you're probably not going to get much more snow. So if you're watching us for southern and central Maine, I think we get most of our snowfall accumulation tomorrow morning. And here we are. This is probably the worst of it, at least the heaviest of the snow, for the entire 2-day period, for southern Maine at least. Notice those darker shades of blue. This actually gets up into central Maine, mid-coast Maine. So we're all going to be looking at some snow to start us off tomorrow morning, just in time for the morning commute. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit slippery due to snow. Notice that sleet is trying to get up into seacoast New Hampshire, York County. And you might see a little bit of rain at the coastline. I don't think it's going to be much, though. And it's still snowing farther off to the north. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Those temperatures might be a little generous south. And then tomorrow night, the precip type will probably be just freezing drizzle. I don't think we're going to see a lot of precip tomorrow night, but it's just very light during the overnight hours. Round number 2 will bring a heavier round during the day on Friday. And this is run off a forecast model, so take it with a grain of salt. But this is the areas in pink. This is likely freezing rain. And notice how it works all the way up in the western mountains of Maine and White Mountains of New Hampshire. Even there, I think you will see some freezing rain. That's what's going to make the snowfall accumulations so challenging. I mean, we've had a few of these so far, and it's bound to something to go wrong in this forecast, but we'll have to see how much freezing rain you get in this area before you change back over to snow. Now, if you're watching us along the coastal plain, we'll probably get none or very little additional snowfall accumulation on Friday, just because that pink color is freezing rain. You'll get icing. You might get up to 1/4 of an inch of ice. It's northern Maine. Yeah, there'll be some spots over 12 inches of snow up into Piscataquis County, northern Somerset County, up into the county and Aroostook County as well. And then the back edge is trying to shift off to the east. That's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on your Friday. And I was hoping to put another pause in there just to show you some of the snow trying to pivot around Friday afternoon, Friday night. I don't know why it stops at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. But it looks like the back edge will be moving out during that time frame. So we will see some sun return on Saturday. Saturday, Sunday all look out pretty nice at this point. Okay, let's talk about snow for a minute here. This is the same forecast model we were just looking at for precipitation type. And notice the timestamp. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon on your Thursday. So tomorrow, snowfall amounts, not much. I have about 2 to 5 inches of snow. Let's get rid of this. For most of the area here, it's probably like 1 to 3 down in here, 2 to 4 for the rest of the area. A manageable amount of snow, but what makes it tricky for superintendents maybe calling school off is it comes at the exact worst time. Your morning commute. Buses will be on the roads will be snow covered, that kind of thing. And that's why my kids are doing the snow dance at home, trying to figure out if they're going to have school or not. I still think that's funny. But we're going to see snowfall pick up over northern zones going into the day Friday. So notice how we really don't see much additional accumulation Friday. This is 6 p.m. Friday. In this area. So it's probably about 1 to 3, 2 to 5 in these regions. But you go to northern Maine, northern parts of New Hampshire, yeah, there'll be spots at 8 to 12 inches of snow. In fact, there might be some spots way up north that get more than 12 inches of snow. So that's why we have our snowfall totals for tomorrow. Let me get my head out of the way. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. My head is right here. Move it there. There we go. It looks like we're going to get Thursday only. So just Thursday, we're probably going to be getting about 1 to 3 inches south and coast. I think we will see a changeover to at least some sleet, potentially a little bit of rain in this area, and then 2 to 5 inches. This includes the Portland area, going back to Sebago Lake, Lewis and Auburn, Augusta, interior York County, all the way up in the mountains. This is Thursday only. Now, as we turn this around here and factor in the 2-day totals, this is Thursday and Friday, notice how we do not have any real additional accumulation in this area. Here's your 1 to 3, 2 to 5 that we just outlined. Where there will be a battle line is somewhere in here. And somewhere in here, it's going to get really interesting, right around Route 2, because that freezing rain is going to hold totals down in some spots. Well, some areas from Rangeley, northern Coos County, these areas right here, could see a foot of snow. In fact, these areas could see a little bit over a foot of snow. I was just talking to a friend of mine who's up at Wildcat Mountain right here, and he says, how much snow are we going to get? And, you know, it looks like, I bet you get about 8 inches in that area. We'll have to see. But areas like Sugarloaf, you're a candidate for that 8 to 12 there as well. Sunday River's probably a little bit less in that area. We can outline all the ski resorts if you want. We've got Shawnee Peak right here in the 4 to 8. I could keep going. Let's see. We've got Cranmore. We've got Attitash down here. We've got all the New Hampshire mountains. We got Black Mountain up in here, New Hampshire and Maine. All right. We won't go. We'll stop there for now. Let's get rid of those. But snowfall total is going to be a little bit of an adventure, I think, just because some of that freezing rain may hold totals down. I just don't know how much freezing rain we're going to get. And I want to show you something that's kind of interesting. This is right here. This is a forecast model, the European model, the afternoon run. And what we're looking at is the 50 members that make up the European model, trying to outline the probability of 6 inches or greater. So that red is 90% to 100% of 6 inches or greater. Now, notice at the coastline that drops down significantly to about 10 to 20% or so of 6 inches or more. The thing that gets interesting, I think, is areas like right in, let's see, let me draw in right into the White Mountains, for instance, in the Western Mountains of Maine. I want to show you the last run. This is the run that was this morning. Notice how it's a little bit farther south of that 90% line. And then the one at 1 o'clock this afternoon runs a little bit farther north. Old run, new run, old run, new run. See that? It's interesting because the new run is projecting more freezing rain in the mountains. And freezing rain, of course, is not going to allow for much accumulation of snow. So that's why, you know, some of the ski resorts might be really hoping for that 8 to 12, but I could easily see a lot of these areas getting a lot less because of quick changeover to freezing rain. And the back end, you might not get as much as is projected. So bottom line here is just, you know, a fluid situation. Keep an eye on it over the next 2 days. But either way, we're going to have some nuisance weather, whether it's snow or freezing rain or sleet, I think. All right, let's go back to what I wanted to show you here. All right, there we go. Ice tracker. Some folks might be wondering how much ice we're going to get. Let's check out here. It looks as if most of the area gets into the light glaze to 1/4 of an inch of ice. All right, what does that mean for us? Slippery travel, untreated surfaces, crust on top of the snow. There's no question about it. It looks as if we're going to see some icing on top of all of this. But as far as icing amounts, as long as it stays in this range, even up to about 3/10 of an inch, 4/10 of an inch, we're probably not going to see many outages. It's not a huge deal because wind doesn't play much into it. Once you get up around 1/2 inch, yeah, then you start talking about some outages. Once you get to 3/4 of an inch, then you're talking about widespread outages. So I do not think that that is going to play a big role in this storm here. But slippery travel, and most of this ice is going to be on Friday. The morning commute Friday will likely feature some icing due to freezing rain. So there you go. All right, your coastal forecast. Let me get this. Oh, no. Hey, that's not what I want to do. And that's not what I'm going to do either. There you go. You're seeing our first weather warn for some snow on Thursday. Snow to sleet, and then Friday I think we'll see some freezing rain. Even at the coastline, Saturday and Sunday look pretty nice. And then Monday, next burst of precip will probably be light, and it comes in the form of snow and rain. Might get another inch or two of snow during that time frame, but I do not think it's going to be a huge issue there. So the only real storm we're watching, I think, is this Thursday-Friday setup, which has, this winter has a history of producing these long duration snow events, sleet events, freezing rain events. So I hope I've answered a lot of your questions here. Let's see. Oh, there's a bunch of them here coming in. I haven't been looking on the side. I apologize here, but let's see here. Henry. Yeah, hey Henry. I know Henry says it's very active. Yes, I would agree with that. What's happening with the 11 minus 11? Oh, Saturday night. Yeah, did you see that? Victoria says, what about the minus 11 Saturday night? I think I had minus 10. That's close though. Yeah, it's gonna be cold. Saturday night looks cold. I forgot to even mention that. Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's going to get really cold on the back. As long as we have snow on the ground, we'll get below 0 Saturday night. It should be a prime radiational cooling night. One of those nights where it gets really... And it's the only real cold night that we have in the forecast. Closing delay, Wyndham area, question mark, Daniel says. I don't know. I haven't checked any of the closings. I haven't heard of any yet. But I think you got a shot. Wyndham area. I don't think we're going to see a lot of snow, and the snow looks manageable tomorrow. But, to put buses on the road at the heaviest snowfall, I mean, the timing is just not great. It's 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. it comes in. Heaviest is 7, 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere in there. And it starts to lighten up a little bit late in the day, but we're not going to get a lot of snow, a few inches. But as far as the timing goes, yeah, you got a shot at getting the day off. We'll have to see how that goes. And then Friday, you have a shot, too, due to freezing rain. So let me look a few more of these comments here. Hope everybody, all right. People are just checking. Huh. Jana says, I grew up in Van Buren where they're expecting up to 18 inches of snow. I also don't remember many snow days from school. And yeah, I mean, when it's cold and snowy and you're up in Van Buren, up in the county, then yeah, you go to school, right? That's it. I don't remember a lot either, although I did enjoy them when we had snow days. Oh boy. Wind. Jane asks, good question, Jane. Wind. Any question marks? Question marks of wind. And the answer to that is wind won't be too much of an issue. You get 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. Not a huge deal. All right. I think I've answered all the questions now. This ruined my travel plans on Friday. Sorry, Beth. Oh, man. Well, Beth, if you travel slowly, I think you'll be fine. I don't know. I'm one that doesn't mind traveling in wintry weather. I know some folks say, no way. Absolutely not. But I have to travel back and forth to work no matter what. But I just go slow. A lot of folks don't like traveling in snow or ice. But, the Maine DOT does a really good job, especially in freezing rain and, light snow events. That the main roads are just fine, but if you live in the back roads and stuff, yeah, you're going to get slippery weather. That's the way it looks. Slippery travel should be expected both days. All right, I've wasted enough of your time. I hope everybody has a nice night, and thank you very much for checking in on Facebook Live tonight. We'll have more updates coming up on CBS 13 at 11 and Fox 23 at 10. All right, take care. Have a nice night.